Looking for number 9. The 7-pin gets tapped. Down it goes. 9 up, 9 down. Another big shot in the 8th. And all 10 back again for Maria Jose Rodriguez. She's a winner in Richmond, Virginia. She's won her first ever PWBA Tour Championship. And O'Keefe. What a moment for Shannon O'Keefe.
Got to push.
And she has won the 2018 U.S. Women's Open. It's her first career major. The hometown hero can do it right here. It's a strike. It's a championship for Stephanie Johnson. She has won the Cubica AMF PWBA Players Championship in her home center.
Good afternoon and welcome back. Before we get started, if you do not have a voting device and you are a registered delegate, please raise your hand and a staff member will bring one to you. I'd also like to recognize the 2 delegates that were appointed to sit with staff during the legislative session and be on hand verifying voting for the board elections. To my left here, Julia Middlebrook from Greater Boston USBC. And you met him earlier, Jeremy Dennis from Chattanooga area USBC. Kelly Kulick, our chair for the nominating committee, had to leave to go to the PWBA tournament in Minnesota. So I'd like to offer a replacement. I'd like to invite committee member Adam Mitchell to provide the nominating report.
Thank you. I know I'm not Kelly. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to introduce and thank the other members of the nominating committee who have assisted in the process this year. If they would please stand as I introduce them. Mike Cannington, Jay Derryman, Kathy DeSocio, Joe Diamond, and Rhino Page. Unfortunately, he was not able to join us today. I want to share some details about the process for choosing the slate of candidates. The committee's responsibility is to review applications for the USBC board. The committee reviews all applicants and makes a decision on which candidates to move forward to a face-to-face interview stage. The committee takes many factors into account during our deliberations, such as professional background, experience on local and state boards, geographic location, grassroots versus corporate experience, coaching and youth involvement, leadership, and more. After the face-to-face interviews are completed, we are required to slate at least 1 candidate for each position available, but not more than 2. This year, we chose to slate 4 candidates. This is a rigorous process for both the candidates and the committee feels we have done our part by presenting a slate of 4 qualified candidates that will provide the skills and value our board needs most. Additionally, this year, we have a candidate running from the floor. Voting will take place by utilizing the keypads you received as you came in from lunch. Yesterday, all of the candidates participated in the Meet the Candidates workshop. Now, I would like to introduce them again in alphabetical order. First, the slated candidates. From Meridian, Idaho, Anthony Colangelo. From Billings, Montana, Rich Ferran. From Sanford, Michigan, Bo Gergen. from Kelso, Washington, Lowell Lovegren. And running from the floor from Byers, Texas, Richard Ramsey. Before we proceed with the board elections, let's watch a short video that explains how to use your electronic voting devices.
Before we begin with today's voting, let's take a moment to understand how the voting process works. First, you should have been given a voting device with a secure sticker on the back that is numbered from 1 to 1400. You will need this device in order to cast your vote. If you have not received one of these devices, please see a staff member after this video is complete in order to receive one. Once everyone has a voting device, voting will begin. After you cast your vote, the green light on your device should display to let you know that your vote has gone through, at which time a signal is sent to the software. Your vote can be verified through the software by a member of the balloting committee, which is a group that is made up of 2 delegates. If you do not feel that your vote has been tallied, please inform a staff member and provide your voting device number. The staff member will inform the balloting committee, who will then check the software to ensure that the vote has been counted. If it is determined that your vote has been counted, this will be confirmed by a staff member. If your device has not registered a vote, then a member of the staff will reprogram the device and allow you to vote again. If the device still does not register a vote after reprogramming, then a new voting device will be issued and you will be asked to cast your vote again. Once all voting issues have been resolved, the results of the vote will be displayed and the voting process will continue. If you have any questions throughout the process, please feel free to ask a member of the staff for assistance.
I will now turn the podium back over to Carl to conduct the elections.
Thank you, Adam. Okay, delegation, it is now time for you to vote for the open positions on the board of directors. You will be voting on 3 open positions with all 5 candidates eligible to win a spot. The top 3 candidates receiving a majority of the vote will serve a 3-year term beginning August 1st. If the first round of ballots fails to result in 3 candidates receiving a majority vote, the candidate with the lowest votes will be eliminated. Balloting will continue until 3 have reached at least a majority. On your keypads are the numbers 1 through 9. We will only be using 1 through 5, with the candidates and their numbers to be displayed on the screens. When the voting begins, you will be asked to press the button matching the name of the top candidate you want to elect. After a pause to allow for the machines to tabulate those choices, you will be asked to press the button matching the name of your next top candidate. After another pause, you will be asked to press the button for your third choice. Again, candidates need majority vote to be elected. Voting rounds will continue until 3 individuals have been elected. If you have an issue with your keypad, raise your hand and a staff member will help you. After you have voted for your third and final candidate, we will see the results on the screens. All right. You guys ready? All right. Please get your keypads out and get ready to vote for the candidates of your choice. Remember, when I tell you to vote for your first choice, press the button corresponding to that candidate. Then wait until voting opens for your second choice and third choice as previously explained. It is now time to vote for your first candidate. If you have any troubles, please raise your hand. And if you're having a problem, please raise your hand. Stephen's coming, okay. On the far right side. Is there anybody else having an issue? Anybody else? All right, voting has closed for the first candidate. I'm sorry? Go to two. Okay, we're ready for the second candidate. We do? Okay. Looks like we still have a device problem. Yeah, please do not do any voting. Okay, we are now ready for you to vote for your second candidate. You're good? Yeah. Voting is now closed on the second candidate. Please make your selection for your third and final candidate. Just give us a moment while the results are tabulated. Do we have any issues? Second, we've got a couple devices in the back that they're assisting with. All right, voting is now closed. By your actions, Anthony Colangelo, Bo Gergen, and Lo Lovegren have been elected to the USBC Board of Directors. Congratulations. We look forward to working with you. I also want to thank everybody for your cooperation through the election process. And I'd like to welcome at this time, while you're getting the numbers, I would like to welcome our legal and legislative chairman and vice chair, Mark Martin and Jay Dairyman, to begin the legislative segment of our annual meeting.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Carl. Good afternoon, delegates. Now, as we enter this legislative session, please refer to your bylaw amendment booklet that you got when you checked in. Jay or I, will chair this session and will also announce each proposed amendment. If the proposed amendments come from a committee or through the USBC Board of Directors, they do not require a second, and once announced, the motion is on the floor for discussion. We will advise you of the recommendation of the USBC Board. The presenter of the amendment will be given the first opportunity to speak on the amendment. Now, proposed amendments are primary amendments. An amendment to the primary amendment is defined as a secondary amendment under Robert's Rules of Order. Now, if there is an amendment to one of the proposed amendments in the booklet, we ask that when possible, these be confirmed in writing for clarification and correctness. And that announcement was made earlier today also, and yesterday. Secondary amendments to a proposed amendment are voted upon prior to the action on the proposed amendment, which appears in the booklet. We'll state the amended version, the secondary amendment. Now, a delegate or a registered attendee is allowed a 2-minute discussion when needed, a rebuttal of an additional 2 minutes once all first-time speakers have been given their opportunity to speak. So please go to a microphone if you're going to speak, and a USBC staff member will notify the chair. The chair will recognize the location of the microphone, and when it's your turn, please state your name and the association you are representing. Now, at that point, the 2 minutes begin. Discussion will continue until the chair deems it appropriate to call for a vote or a motion has been adopted to end discussion. Now, you've received your electronic voting device. Let me reach in my pocket and I'll get mine. Everybody got them, right? And please note that any amendment needing a ballot vote will announce the numbers on your voting keypad to use. As we go through this, 1 will be to approve the amendment, 2 will be to reject it. You may press the button as many times as you want and change your vote. However, only the last selection you make will count. The green light will indicate your vote has been registered. Now, for the league and tournament rules, a majority is required to adopt. And for the bylaw amendments, a 2/3 vote is required to adopt. Again, if you make a mistake, please press the number that you want real quick, and the machine will only record your last vote. As you saw in the video, we do have a verification process, so anyone with a concern about their device can raise their hand for assistance and confirm their vote indeed did get counted. If you do need to leave the room, you'll have to give up your device to a staff member, and you'll be given another one when you come back. I'd like to introduce the individuals that I may call upon during this session to help answer questions. Members of the Legal and Legislative Committee, Vice Chair Jay Dairyman, Joe Diamond, stand up, Joe, and Adam Mitchell. Also, USBC staff will be here to assist us. Mike Spridko, and Lori Smedick. I'd also like to introduce our legal counsel and parliamentarian, Scott Bechtel. Mr. Bechtel is a partner at the law firm of Michael Best and Friedrich. He's worked on many legal matters on behalf of USBC and is well versed in our history and our bylaws. So now that we've outlined the procedures and the people involved, let's get to work. So please open your bylaw book program to page 1, and at this time I'll turn over the league and the tournament rule changes to our Vice Chair, Jay Derriman.
Thank you, Mark. And before I actually begin, since this is my first time doing this in front of the National Convention, I want to let everybody know that I did write a policy in the policy manuals we were handed out, that if I do make a mistake up here this morning, that you must understand and forgive me immediately without exception. Thank you. I do want to thank President Carl Kulik and the rest of the committee for instilling their trust in me to actually begin this year, and hopefully I'll be before you in future years to come. But let us begin with LR1. This was submitted by the USBC Legal and Legislative Committee. It amends Rule 102E, Duties of the Secretary. If approved, averages on bowl.com or the official bowler's average. The proposal would add a requirement that within 15 days of the end of league secretaries must submit their final averages. Recommendation of the board is to adopt LR1. Is the proposer available to speak to this amendment? That's us, never mind. See, I didn't write a name down, that's why. Immediate forgiveness, so you got to remember that one. Does anybody wish to speak on LR1?
Me.
Microphones aren't numbered. I'm going to assume that's number 2 here.
5. Well,
5?
Yeah, it's 5.
Thank you.
All right. So my question is, if this is adopted, sorry, my name is Lonnie Olson from Skagit Valley, USBC. If this proposal is adopted and we know that somebody has an average that didn't get on bowl.com, when we're running our tournaments, can we still use that average if we can verify it in another way?
If the average doesn't appear on bowl.com, can they verify the average in another way? Yeah, there would be no change to that process.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Press 1 to approve, 2 to reject. Voting is now open.
Over here, over on the far right side, we've got a couple of hands. But if you have an issue, please raise your hand. Yeah, yeah. Please settle down. We're working on it. Please settle down.
Settle down, settle down. We're working on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please keep your voices down so our staff can help with those that need assistance.
With the number of people voting, it may take a few seconds for it to go from flashing yellow to green. So please be patient. And we do appreciate your patience and support. Is there any more issues? Has everybody been able to vote? I see none. Voting is now closed.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can go ahead and post it. Is it up? There we go. By your actions, you have approved LR1. Vote count was 836 for, 20 against. Percentage-wise, it looked like it was 98 and 2. If you will turn your page to page 2 for LR2. This was submitted from the field by Scott Resnick from Fort Solange, New York. It's an amendment to Rule 108B without cause. A player would also receive 0 pinfall for any remaining games for withdrawing from a game for reasons other than disability, injury, or emergencies. The Board of Directors has recommended rejection. Is Scott Resnick in the room to speak to his amendment? Seeing that he's not, is there anyone in the room that wishes to speak to LR2? Ready for the vote? Seeing that there is none, voting is now open for LR2. Once again, 1 to approve, 2 to reject. Had to take a little picture there because my wife can't believe I'm in front of 1,000 people and calm. Any issues in voting on LR2? Hearing none, polling is now closed. By your actions, you have rejected LR2. 697 to 148. And the percentages are 82% no, 18% approve. Now turn your booklet to page 4 for LR3. This is submitted, and I apologize if I mispronounce anyone's name. Nadine Steinmetz from Junction City, Oregon. It's an amendment to Rule 122 for meetings. Would allow changes to league rules with approval of a majority vote instead of written consent of all team captains. The Board of Directors has recommended rejection of LR3. Is Nadine in the room to speak to the amendment? Anyone else wishing to speak to LR3? Seeing none, polling is now open. 1 to approve, 2 to reject. Go ahead, post it. Voting is now closed. By your actions, you have rejected LR3, 87% to reject, 13% to approve. Total votes 729 to reject, 112 to approve. Now for TR1, submitted by Ed Carter from Levant, Maine. This is an amendment to Rule 319A, conditions that apply. Allows bowlers with averages with both hands to choose which hand to use with a corresponding average. The Board of Directors has recommended rejection. Is Mr. Carter in the room? Does anyone else like to speak to TR1? Seeing none, we're ready. Once again, press 1 to approve, 2 to reject. Oop. Stand by.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Matt Fabro, Fairfield County, USBC. I noticed that the reason for rejection is that tournaments can adopt a rule to allow an individual to bowl with a designated hand. Given 30, 20, even 10 years ago, I would agree that in a situation such as this would be the exception and not the norm. However, the sport is evolving, styles are evolving, and I would just argue that a bowler using both hands or switching hands is going to quickly become the norm. So I see no reason why we should reject this rule and force individual associations, both local and state, to be reactive rather than being proactive. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? I see somebody coming forward.
Judy Johnson, Southern Nevada. Your proposal up there does not read as it reads in our information. It reads, bowlers with documented averages for each hand must use the highest average for the chosen hand. That's not what you have up there.
What's displayed is kind of a synopsis and an interpretation of what's in there. Either interpretation as you are basically the same.
It says corresponding average. That is not highest average.
That is correct. It would be this, if somebody were to say, I want to bowl right-handed, they would use their highest average with that right hand.
Okay. But it should read the same.
Anyone else? I see nobody else coming to the microphones, so we will now open the voting for. Hold on.
Jim Grisham, Greater Dallas. Does this mean if I'm bowling in a tournament and I want to bowl right-handed because my left-handed's hurt or whatever, but I have to use my left-handed average because it's highest?
No, it does not.
So I use, whichever hand I'm using the highest average with that hand?
If this rule were adopted, you would have to declare if you were using both hands. If you had a left and right hand average on bowl.com,
right,
you would have to declare which hand you were going to use and then use the corresponding highest average that you have with that hand.
For that tournament?
For that tournament. And you
the
would
next
have to
tournament
bowl
I
that
go
way
to, I could
throughout
bowl
the
left-handed if it's feeling better.
That's correct.
Right? Okay.
I'm over here.
Microphone one.
Sean Malo, Pikes Peak, USBC. This rule pertains to two-handed bowlers. If this amendment passes, are you going to pass for one-handed bowlers? So we're not giving the advantage to two-handed bowlers?
No, it's for a bowler that bowls left-handed or right-handed.
Excuse me, sir.
Said two-handed.
This rule does not apply to someone using the two-handed technique. This is whether they're using their left or right hand as their primary hand, as today's rules currently apply. Microphone 2, the gentleman in the red shirt, please.
Yes, I'm Chris Pilios from the San Gabriel Valley Bowling Association, the best association in the world. I recommend rejection simply for the fact that there isn't any way that could be policed if someone takes a lower average and then turns around and bowls with the other hand. You can't police that. You'd have to have everybody checked before, during, and after they bowl. Thank you.
Thank you. Microphone 3.
5, me?
Yes, sir.
All right,
It's 5.
Lonnie Olson again, Skagit Valley, USBC. So I just need a clarification here. If this is rejected, are we allowed to, if somebody's got a left-handed average and a right-handed average, can they, if the lower one is the left-handed and they're bowling the tournament left-handed, can we allow them to use that left-handed average?
If you were to place that in your tournament rules, that would be allowable. If you
okay.
do not place in your tournament rules and you say state highest average, that would not be applicable.
Okay, thank you. That's what I needed clarified.
Microphone 5. Yes, ma'am.
From deep East Texas, my question is, we have some two-handed bowlers, but when they go to do pickup, they use one hand. So how do we clarify that?
This rule does not change their ability to do that. That is currently allowed, and this rule does not make any changes to the current rule. It's permissible to bowl as long as they're using the same primary hand. It's permissible for them to bowl two-handed on one delivery and one-handed on another delivery, as long as they're using the same primary hand.
Okay.
Microphone 5.
Yeah, I'm Gary Foreman. I'm president of Orange County, California, USBC. In full disclosure, I'm Secretary Treasurer to California Southern Bowling Proprietors. I'm going to call for the question.
Question has been called. Is there a second? I hear a second. I'm going to do voice vote by this. All those in favor of calling the question say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. I say the ayes have it. I was waiting for one of those ABC when I go back to my days to those conventions where, you know, if you were for something, you really screamed loud, and then it was hard to tell, and it was always fun. We're ready to vote on TR1. Press 1 to approve, 2 to reject. I remembered to vote. Anyone having any issues? Seeing none, polling is closed for TR1. Okay. By your actions, you have rejected TR1 by 87% against, 13% in favor. Actual number, 731 to reject, 114 to approve. I thank you very much for being patient with me. And I would also like to thank, once again, my mentor, Mark Martin. This is his last time doing this in front of you. And I know I do, and I think all of you need to give Mark Martin a good round of applause for all his years of service.
Thank you, Jay. Okay, let's get to work on the bylaws. So can anybody in the audience tell me what the vote has got to be to pass a bylaw? 2/3, that's right. I'm just making sure everybody knows. Okay, bylaw proposal B1. B1 allows for proxy or absentee ballots at the annual meeting. It's submitted by Douglas Sass. Is Douglas in our presence or somebody speaking on his behalf? Okay, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Pauline Terrebonne from the Mid-Maryland USBC. I'm speaking in behalf of Doug Sass. Last year, the Legislative Committee recommended rejection of the proposal for several reasons, including and not limited to concerns about costs, and seems to have no knowledge of any other membership organization that conducts voting on this matter. This year's proposal addressed the matters of cost and multiple quotes from vendors that handle off-site voting for many prominent membership organizations like the Canada Football League Players Association, and refuted every other concerns the Legislative Committee raised in one case. And with the committee's very own words, the committee has once again recommended rejection for 3 reasons. One of which to take total leave of the tools available to the organizations in today's information age. Another of which deals with something that has happened in roughly 2% of proposals from the last 10 years and can be planned for. And last of which, and far from a fatal flaw, if even a flaw at all, if you don't like proxy voting, fine, absentee voting still works. Perhaps the committee or even the National Board of Directors would like to tell us what their real problem is. Is this that you just can't be bothered with doing something or doing something different, or do you have some alternative motive for excluding over 75% of the eligible delegates from the legislative process for which no other reason that they simply can't afford the time and expense of coming to the convention? Whatever the real problem may be, let's remind our National Board of Directors that they are here to lead our entire membership,
15
not just
seconds.
the 25% of us less of the associations that can collect enough dues to send their delegates out there, but everyone. I implore the delegates to use the voting they cast a moment or two from now to send that message. Thank you, Doug.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other discussion on the floor? The recommendation for this bylaw proposal is for rejection by the Board of Directors. Any other discussion? Seeing none, seeing nobody going to a microphone, are we ready to vote? Okay. Get your little clickers out. 1 to approve, 2 to reject. Everything looks good. The voting is now closed. By your action, you have rejected B1, 85% to 15%. 125 in favor, 726 reject. Okay, now please turn to page 14 in your booklet. Proposal B2 puts limits on the submission of an amendment from the previous year. This is proposed by the Legal and Legislative Committee and recommended for adoption by the USBC Board of Directors. The floor is now open for any discussion. Seeing no one coming to the microphone, it's now time to vote. Are we ready to vote? You ready to vote? Okay, one to approve, two to reject. Voting is now closed. By your action, you have approved B2 77% to 23%. 652 in favor, 194 opposed. Okay, now we can turn to B3. B3 is on page 16. B3 is a field amendment to the USBC state bylaws, allows state delegates to determine if Hall of Fame members should have voting rights at the state annual meeting, proposed by Mark Jensen and Sharon Billman. Are either one of them in attendance and would like to speak on behalf of the proposal? Down here.
Sharon Billman, Kansas State USBC. This amendment came from Mark Jensen, and he asked me to help co-author it with him with the verbiage. Mark, are you here? There you are. Thank you. He's on the back side of me. Okay. He's going to speak after I speak. We feel there are many states that would benefit from allowing this, and since USBC changed it to their mandatory bylaws, that their Hall of Famers had voice and vote at this convention. We feel that it should be an option, but for those states such as Kansas, that this be approved so we can change our bylaws to allow our state Hall of Famers voice and vote at our annual meeting. We have several that are elected as delegates, so they will have that voice and vote. And they will be coming also as the Hall of Famer and continue to have that. And then an extra person from their association then would be allowed that voice and vote. So we do encourage you to vote yes on this amendment.
Thank you. Mark, you'd like to speak on it?
Yes, sir. Mark Jensen, Great Plains USBC, Wichita, Kansas. First off, this doesn't mandate anything to anybody. It just gives you folks a chance to take it back to your state and offer voice and vote to your state Hall of Famers. We look at it as kind of a courtesy to our state Hall of Famers. And it's a small way, but it's a chance to keep them involved. So we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Frank?
Frank Barnhart, Missouri State. I think I know the answer, but I'd like to hear it from the dais, a clarification. This amendment, if passed, will require state associations to make a choice on the wording of their bylaws. What will occur if a state has not yet made that choice the next time they have a meeting?
If they've not made that choice, then the Hall of Famers would not have a vote. You'd have to enact the bylaw change for state Hall of Famers to have voice and vote. Any other discussion from the delegation? Seeing no one going to a microphone, we ready to vote? Okay, 1 to approve. The recommendation of the USBC board is for approval. 1 to approve, 2 to reject. Voting is now closed. By your action, you have approved Proposal B3, 90% to 10%. 767 votes in favor, 84 for reject. Now on to B4. I'm waiting for somebody to yell bingo. Bylaw proposal B4 would allow membership bought in a summer league to extend through July 31st of the following year. It is recommended for rejection by the Board of Directors. It is proposed by the San Diego Association, or is one of their representatives here to speak on their behalf? Sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, directors, and delegates. Thank you for considering this proposal. I hope that you have read the printed reasons for the approval from us. It is right to the point on why we should vote for this proposal, and I will not go over this. A few points that were not covered in the published document. Most bowlers that were told about the basic membership did not understand it. They were confused. They thought that it was good in any league, not just the one that they were bowling in. And to bowl in another league, they had to purchase another basic membership or convert to standard membership. Also, the secretaries did not understand this concept and would not try to enforce the rules. This caused more confusion. It also caused leagues not to certify the next summer session. As president of our association, I see the loss of leagues and revenue from the basic membership. The third year that the basic membership was enforced, we had a significant revenue shortfall in the summertime. This resulted in our association having to take funds out of our reserve accounts, and this should not have happened. We have adjusted our budgets to cover this, and I'm sure that other associations have seen the same problems. If this proposal passes, it may show a loss in the second summer, but we feel that this will encourage a summer bowler to continue bowling in the next winter and summer league and beyond. If this happens, then the bowlers will become full members and continue for a longer period of time. This will help the
15 seconds.
This will help the association and the national membership. We had communicated with other associations and individuals associated with bowling in this proposal. They agreed that it was better for the sport and that this was a good membership. The board instituted the basic membership.
Time has expired.
Thank you for your attention, and please vote yes on this proposal.
Who's in control of the microphone? Why couldn't they shut it off? Sir.
Thank you. Jerry Sagan from San Diego Bowling Association. Yes, this was changed 7 years ago, and so we have had plenty of experience with this change. And yes, we have found out that the change may not have put more memberships in the system. In fact, we have less bowlers during the summer, as was explained there. This is not due to a number of bowlers bowling, but this is mere fact that the bowling centers are not wanting to sanction their leagues during the summer because of this. I have been a manager of a center, and I'm also past president of a local bowling council. And trust me, I have an inside view of what happens and what the bowling center managers are saying, and they do not like this basic sanctioning. So getting down to basics, look at the basic sanction. It had good intentions when it was initialized, but is not incentive enough for bowling centers to use it for their leagues, and ours don't. It's easier not to sanction than to have to rather to explain to the bowlers what the difference is between the two, especially with the basic, because it is so confusing to a lot of people. Now, say that we do talk about training also. Let's say that the bowling centers are asking them to train their people to do this. Well, that's not their job. Their job is to get bowlers on the lanes, whether they're sanctioned or not. If you see that this has not worked or helped our short seasons or summers or leagues, please, we need to change this. Some look at this as a step backwards, but we look at this as a change to go forward in a way to right a wrong.
15 seconds.
Someone made a profound statement yesterday. He said, let's bridge the gap between proprietors and the USBC. Why not give a tool to the market more bowlers and get the bowlers from the summer to join winter leagues?
Time has expired.
Thank you. Please vote yes.
Sir.
All right, Lonnie Olson again from Skagit Valley USBC. Another clarification. If a summer league sanctions under the standard where it's the $10,
under the basic, you mean?
Under the basic, I'm sorry. Under the basic where it's the $10, the bowlers that bowled in the fall winter leagues, they don't have to pay that $10, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so it's only for the new bowlers.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Sir.
Randy from Indy USBC. The confusion amongst bowlers, if there's confusion, that's our fault. As directors, you should be at the bowling alleys, not talking to the program directors, having them explain it. You should be there explaining it. None of this falls back on BPA. Don't be lazy. Do your job. Go explain it to the bowlers yourself.
Sir.
Zach Harvey, Central New Mexico. First off, that was really well said. I appreciate that. Personal opinion, seeing as I know some bowlers that only bowl summer leagues, if they end up choosing to bowl a winter league, I don't see why they need to be paying $50+ within the span of 3 months, especially if they're only going to have a summer league and decide not to bowl. I think it would be better off they have that option instead of having to pay double for what some people are only paying single if they don't bowl summer.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am.
Lillian Rowland from the Tulare County USBC. The only thing that I have to add to this is that the $11 or $10 basic membership only covers 16 weeks. All of the ones in my house has 18, 19 weeks. So it's not available to my bowlers because my summer leagues are too long. The only thing I suggest is we change that to 19 weeks instead of 16. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joy Kellenberger, Southeastern Ohio USBC Association Manager. Since the new league benefit of basic membership has come in, our summer leagues are not certifying. We went from 12 to 15 summer leagues down to maybe 1. It is a big hit to our budget. It is a big hit to USBC. The basic membership would still be there if I understand this correctly, and they could certify as a basic membership if they wish to, but those who want to pay for the standard membership could do so, and we might be able to get them to bowl in the fall and winter also. Thank you. Please vote yes.
Sir.
Preston Pangle, North Carolina State USBC. Call for the question.
Orange County, I second that.
Okay, the question has been called for and seconded to end discussion. As before, we'll do this on a voice vote. All those in favor of ending the discussion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the discussion has been ended. Are we ready to vote? Ready to vote. 1 to approve, 2 to reject. The voting is now closed. By your actions, you have rejected B4 60% to 40%. 336 in favor, 510 opposed. What's the question?
You need
two-thirds to approve. Two-thirds to approve. Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to either approve something or reject it. It's two-thirds to approve. So in this case, it would have had to be at least double the approval that it is the rejection. That's kind of the way you figure it out. Everybody clear on that? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So this ends our legislative session, but I would like to say a few words before I give up the microphone for the very last time. I stand here for the final time as the chair of the Legal and Legislative Committee, and I'd like to thank all of the delegates for all of their respect over the past 9 years. While I've only been chair for 4 years, during this last 9 years, we've dealt with a number of contentious issues, and I want to thank you for your respect. Again, many important proposals have come before this body. The respect shown by you in the debates and the deliberations has been fantastic, and I appreciate that. You know, serving the membership as a member of the USBC board has been a complete pleasure for me and something that I'll always cherish. I appreciate all the friendships established with the board of directors, both past and present. I'd like to thank the USBC staff for all of their hard work. Chad, Jason, Mike, Lori, thank you. I'd also like to thank my local association, the Metro Detroit USBC, for allowing me to represent them at the national level. Woo-woo! The same goes for the other locals in the state of Michigan and my state association, the Michigan State USBC. Again, while I've termed out after this season, you'll continue to see me every year, as I'll continue to be here at the annual convention as a local delegate, as I've done for the past 32 years. Thank you. Now, all of us in this room know, and I've heard it a lot this week, about how important it is to have a supportive family. My wife, Catherine, is here today as a delegate from Metro Detroit, and I'd like to thank her for her love and support. I couldn't have done it without you. I love you. Again, my commitment to all of you, as it's been for the last 9 years, those of you that have seen me run in the past, I always have my little calling card, because I'm only a phone call or an email away, remember? My commitment remains. I'm still the association manager of Metro Detroit. If I can be any assistance to you or your association, don't hesitate to contact me. So write this down. My email address is mark.martin, pretty easy, right? At MD, Metro Detroit, MDUSBC.com. Just drop me an email. I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. Or call me. And I'm not going to do like Kelly did yesterday and give you a fake number. What's up with that? I thought she wanted the guy to call her. Then she says 555. My phone number is 248-420-0686. Keep promoting our great sport as you've done all these years. And one last thing for association managers in the room. You've gotten a couple emails from me in the last couple months about ordering rule books. If you kind of missed the deadline of May 1st yesterday, get it to me by Monday, because I'm going to put the order in next week. I'll get them out to you as soon as I get them. I appreciate all that. Thank you very much. And that's all, folks.
Thank you, Mark and Jay. At this time, I'd like to ask the delegation if there's any old business to bring to the floor. All right, hearing no old business, we'll move on to new business. Is there any new business? Mr. Foreman.
Good afternoon. I'm Gary Foreman, Orange County USBC. Again, full disclosure, Secretary Treasurer of Southern Cal Proprietors. I'm getting a lot of questions from league bowlers and league meetings. I just want some advice on the dry towel rule as to what happens if there's some stuff on your bowling ball. For anywhere from having to come up to the league officer with a cleaner to the whole, can the bowling center do it? We just want some guidance on that as to how we handle if something gets wet or needs wetness after August 1st. Thank you.
No problem. Once when the rule goes into effect on August 1st, if a ball has markings on it that cannot be removed by a dry towel, that competitor would need to seek out a league or tournament official to receive approval to use an approved cleaner. Any other business?
Afternoon. My name is Sandra Eckert. I'm president of Fort Collins, Colorado, USBC. I just wanted to give everybody an update on our BVL donations that we collected earlier. Thanks to all of you, we raised $3,500.28.
Thank you very much on behalf of BVL. Mr. Barnhart. Microphone one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have one quick personal request. I had left my delegate bag on my chair after the morning session, thinking it'd be safe to do that, but it was gone when I returned. The one thing I need out of there is my orange notebook, which has my name, Frank Barnhart, written on the first page. It has my rather brief notes that I've taken from the session up through today. You found it? Okay, thank you.
How's that for quick service? Any other new business? All right, before we move into our town hall and adjournment, a couple things. Have you all enjoyed convention this year? Will you do me a favor and please join me in thanking the hardworking staff. They put in unbelievable hours and time leading into this and certainly on site. They work awful hard for the bowlers in this country and obviously for us. Before we go to our town hall meeting, I'd like to take a sneak peek and look at next year's USBC convention. Our theme for next year is Power of Community. We look forward to seeing you all there. As we hope to see you for the town hall meeting, as we did in previous years, we have asked for questions to be submitted in advance if possible. Please hand your question card to any USBC staff member, and we will discuss your topic during the town hall. If you need another, please ask a staff member. We will have our town hall starting in 15 minutes. If you choose to attend, the 2019 USBC annual meeting is adjourned.